Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Death of a Unicorn. And this is from writer-director Alex Sharfman and from A24. This film focuses on a father-daughter duo of Elliott and Ridley who hit a unicorn with their car and bring it to the wilderness retreat of a mega-wealthy pharmaceutical CEO. And this film stars Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega as this father and daughter combination. And this film is wild. It has so many great moments, and you have this story where you have this single father, played by Rudd, who's just really not connecting with his daughter, and he's hyper fixating on the fact that he really needs to sell this idea and get this job with this very rich family so that his daughter never has to worry about anything, even though there's that conflict of what does she really need? Her father. And there's a lot of tension there, but there's also great chemistry between Rudd and Ortega. You really buy into their relationship and you really want to root for them. And I think Rudd goes on a very impactful journey throughout this film. This crazy situation really puts him into perspective of what he needs to be prioritizing, and we can feel that. And Ortega's character has this strong connection with a unicorn when she touched its horn, and Ortega's character Ridley's really utilized to bring in research and look into all the mythology of unicorns, and I think how they incorporated the mythology was impactful and interesting and useful to the story. I think this film overall kind of sets you up into this situation where it feels very Jurassic Park-esque. You're on this big estate, the middle of nowhere, and you have these unicorns attacking who are vicious and dangerous animals in this particular film, and also in a lot of the mythology, and how they're trying to slaughter these people and try to get what they want. And this really all comes down to the choices that Elliott has made in terms of what to do with when he hits this baby unicorn and all of these things and how it all comes to fruition. And then you have the rest of the cast who are either the family, this pharmaceutical CEO's family. You have the scientists that work for him and, the help and his security, and all of these characters all trapped in this crazy situation. You see plenty of blood and guts and gore with some of the kills in this. It is wild. They do not hold back. And they're unicorns are vicious monsters, and you're going to see it. And there's some great moments where it's somebody gets impaled through the chest and you just see this shot right through the wound and you're just yep, that hit. There's a lot of little nods and homages to Jurassic Park and stuff like that. I think the horror elements, the goriness, the monster elements really work. The effects for them are really well done. They're pretty believable. Giant unicorn. And you have, like I said, the special effects and all of those elements that come together to really sell a lot of the genre beats of this film. And you have the thrilling moments, but also this film is absolutely hilarious. There's so many funny moments and just the banter, the awkwardness. Basically, there's a few characters who everything that comes out of their mouth is funny, to be honest. And there's just such strong cast members here. Paul Rudd really sells this conflict within his character, and I think him and Jenna Ortega each give strong performances and have their funny moments. But really, Anthony Carrigan, who plays Griff, the help, the butler, he has a lot of really funny moments. His reactions to things, it's just, he's so done with this whole situation. Richard E. Grant and Taya Leone each give strong performances here as well. But it's Will Poulter who plays their son, who literally, everything out of his mouth is absolutely hilarious here. And you even have some solid supporting turns from Steve Park and Sunita Mani. And there's just so many fun characters. And sure, some of them don't have the most depth, but they have a lot of personality and they're fun and how they fit into this. This film deals with a lot of its themes are very on the nose, but it deals with conservation and animal rights and like hunting, and it deals with class struggle and greed and capitalism and all of these kinds of things. It really incorporates the unicorn mythos into it very well, that resolves things in a very effective kind of way. There's blood, there's guts, there's plenty of laughs to be had. A very strong, heartfelt dynamic between father and daughter that anchors this whole thing down. And you see that in the stark contrast with how this family that they have been spending the film with and how they react to things. But this is just such a wild, bonkers, big idea kind of concept that I think Sharfman does a really fine job of executing. And you have something like this that feels like it should be like a big budgeted thing, but they're able to make this work and be funny and engaging and at times very biting in what it's trying to portray. But this is, I think, a big win for A24. I think Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd are really good standouts. Will Poulter for sure. And there's just so many bonkers moments and some twists and turns along the way that'll certainly keep you on edge. But those are my thoughts on Death of a Unicorn. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.